So here we have it, a 16-time world champion, Phil the Power Taylor. Phil, players winning one world championship in any sport is incredible. To win 16 times, how does it feel when you hear that?
I think winning one tournament is easy, as such. To defend it is the problem. That's the hardest bit, because you're not just defending a world championship, you're defending your prize money. And that's the hardest part. Especially after, you know, it's £1 million. Whoever wins it this year for £1 million is going to go up the rankings. And then 2 years' time, they've got to defend it. So you can be up there and then down there. It's literally... But to defend it it's brilliant, obviously, but it's hard work.
Yeah, 16 times.
Takes a lot of dedication.
Incredible, isn't it? Everyone, 16-time world champion. Thank you. I can see that we've got a few kids in the audience today. Obviously, they've seen the £1 million.
There'll be some millionaires in here today, I'll tell you.
But let's take us back to the beginning for you, Phil. Tell us about before the world titles, before the fame. What was life like for Phil Taylor?
It was normal, really. I lived in a terraced house. Well, I lived in a council house in the beginning. The first house, my mum and dad, when I think I was about 2 years old or a year old. My mum and dad bought a terraced house in a place called Tunstall, and it was £100. But it was under compulsory purchase, so they knew if they could scrape this £100 up and buy it cash, then we'd get a council house. So we lived there for about a year, and you couldn't go upstairs because the ceilings were coming down. In case the ceilings come down, sorry. The sink was in the yard. I can remember, actually I was only 2, but I can remember my dad going outside and cracking the ice on the baths, on the taps, sink outside. The toilet was at the bottom of the yard. I mean, none of you youngsters will know this, honestly. And then, for have a bath, we had a tin bath. Have you ever watched the old cowboy films where they're having a bath in a tin bath? It's like that. So his mum and dad used to have to boil water and put it in the bath.
How old are you again?
65 in August.
Getting into darts, as you say, these kids are getting into a young age, but you didn't really start playing darts till what, your mid-20s?
No, I was young when I played darts, but never really took it serious. I mean, darts wasn't on TV when I was a kid. It was only, I think it was indoor league and odd tournaments then, that when darts first came on. And for the first time, it was a bit of an anticlimax for me, because I'd qualified for a tournament in Middlesbrough called the Dry Blackthorn, the first one I'd ever qualified for TV. I played Dave Wickham. And I thought all the players would be like multi-millionaires, and they weren't, because they didn't earn the money. In them days, probably the Dry Blackthorn, probably 5,000 for the winner, which still was a lot of money, but it wasn't like it is now. The sport has just gone poof, and I can see it climbing as well.
You've spoken about having a mentor of kinds in Eric Bristow. How crucial was he in bringing you on at the beginning?
Well, without Eric, I would never have the money to travel. I was entering tournaments like Staffordshire Open or Derbyshire Open, Lincolnshire Open, Yorkshire Open, London, you know, the British Open. So whatever tournaments were on, I was playing in them. I started to win them, but the money then was probably 700 to 750 to 1,000 quid for the winner, which was still good money when you pay 7,500 for your house. But it literally was to make a living. I didn't want to play darts as for fun. I wanted to make a living out of it, because I had 3 jobs. I was working on a factory. I was working in ceramics then, and then I used to come home and repair cars. We used to have a lot of car traders then. Remember the old car traders, spares and repairs and all this business? So I used to do their MOTs for them, and then I used to work behind the bar. Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, they'll tell you exactly what I got. How old would it be then? 24? So it's 40 odd years. I got 22 quid for 4 nights work behind the bar, and it was a busy bar as well, which that £22 though was my pocket money. So, and if anybody bought me a drink, I used to have to write it down, 40p, it was 40 pence a pint, and then 40p a pint. I went down the local the other day, a couple of days ago. A pint of Madry was £4.80. I gave me 5, they gave me 20p. I went, where's my other 2 quid or whatever it was with it? £4.80 for a pint of bloody lager.
How could you make a living playing darts then? Because the world champion wasn't getting £1 million.
It wasn't
then.
Really about making a living for me. Well, for doing it like full time, the only way you could do it, because it was the BDO then, is to get yourself into the tournaments, to get points. So the only way you could do it is go the tournaments, which was like Finland, Sweden, Belgium, America, Canada. So you had all these opens, and Eric decided he's going to sponsor me. It was Maureen Flowers, so he sponsored me. The figure was around £10,000, and that's for flights, hotels. I mean, you pay that for one tournament now. So he said, look, I'll sponsor you, but whatever you win, you pay me back to the amount I've sponsored you, which is, say, let's say 10,000 is an outside figure. And I'd won America, I'd won the pairs America with Sharon Coqueliffe, and Eric used to be the side bottom of the stairs there. Thank you very much. Put it in his pocket. The first one was a Canadian $4,000. Never seen $4,000 in my life. And I'd gone Canada with about 20 quid in my pocket. And Eric's standing at the bottom of the stairs. Thank you very much. And I thought, I haven't even seen out the cheque. It's like giving your mother, you mean you come home from work, and your mother said, where's your wage packet? It was exactly the same as that. Give you that money here. So, but he did make me into a winner. That's what Eric did. He didn't like practice with me where he'd show me how to win. He'd just take the mickey out of you and then motivate you in different ways.
And you would have to win, right, to make a living.
Yeah, it's the way you talk to people. I mean, you can go in a shop and somebody can say something to you. You can go in another shop and that person will get you back up. They say the same thing, but they say it wrongly. And Eric was a master at telling you something and getting your temper up.
Look, you very quickly started to climb up the rankings. Everyone else was losing money, really, weren't they? Only the winners were making money at that time.
The winners, yeah. If you went to America, like they're in America now, and they'll probably get 20,000 or 25,000 just for going, plus free flights, plus free accommodation. We had to pay his own flights, his own accommodation, no prize money unless you got to the final. If you got to the final, you got your money back. And if you won it, you made a bit of money.
At what point did you start to realise that not only can you play the game, but you could dominate this game?
I realised by being around the players, I was in awe of them, see. They were all like icons, of the, you know, you're watching them on TV. And then when I was around them a lot, I thought, you're not professional. You're not, you know, a lot of them were big drinkers and standing at the bar a lot and not practising and taking it as a jolly up, really. Where I wasn't like that. So I used to keep myself to myself a little bit. I'd be in my room, I'd be practising. I wouldn't be drinking with them. And, you know, I was a bit of a loner. And I thought, you've got 4 kids at home, you've got to go home and make money. I couldn't go back home and say to my wife, I can't pay the gas bill, electric bill, because I was on the drink with this lot. So I used to ignore them. I used to say, I haven't got the money, I can't afford it. Go on, I'll buy you a drink. I say, no, I don't want it. I'm going to stay in and win the tournament. Then go home and then enjoy yourself. That was my enjoyment really wasn't nightclubbing or things like that, because I was 30 years old. You know what I mean? I'd done all that. I was 18 years old, so I wasn't interested in it. So it made life a little bit easier for me.
You mentioned, Eric, what other sort of icons that you used to play back in the day started to bring out the best in you?
Competitions?
Yeah, which players?
Oh, Eric, Lowy, Jockey was about then. Some of these youngsters, you probably never heard of these players, Jockey Wilson and whatnot. There was a fella named Big Cliff. Keith Della was there and thereabouts. Mike Gregory was another one. They were good players, but to me, they weren't good enough. So you devise a way of beating them.
Did you feel you had a different challenger sort of every few years that would just come, and later on you'd have Barney, Michael Van Gerwen? You saw them all off in the end, but
Yeah,
did you have a different challenge?
You start off respecting people, and then you realise that you're not as professional as what I thought you are. So then you lose the respect, and you'd lose your fear of them. Mm. You know, Lowy, when I first played Lowy and Eric, my hand was shaking. And then eventually I thought, you can't beat us because you're not dedicated enough. Plus you're getting too older. And this is where the advantages of like young Luke Littler and Luke Humphreys. They're young people and they're not fear. You know, they don't fear anybody. They don't need to because they know they're capable of beating anybody. The only problem I see in the future with like the 2 Lukes and some of the other players, where they were dedicated and they were practicing daily in the bedrooms or made their own dart rooms up, now they're travelling, you're playing, you're doing your media, your social media, this, that and the other. Your time's limited, you know what I mean? So they're shattered, most of them are, all the time. I was when I was playing. You know, you try and get your rest in, you're jet lagged all the time. I mean, they're going to America now, they were back from America and they'll be jet lagged, but they'll be straight into the match play. So you imagine, you've been on holiday, some of you, and you know what it's like when you can't sleep. So that's what they're going to be like when they get back. And then you'll watch somebody in the match play say, he played rubbish. I know why he played rubbish, because he's not slept.
You didn't play rubbish there very often. 16 world titles I've mentioned, 16 world match plays as well. That's coming up. That was a really special tournament for you, wasn't it?
The match play was my favourite one, yeah, because the venue was lovely. It was a Victorian building, and it's just beautiful to be inside there. But it was also summer, whereas the World Championship, even though it's the biggest tournament, it's winter, so you're stuck in a hotel. You know, you can't go walking around London. It's freezing. So plus you're working night times. So you spend your time in a hotel. That lockdown during the COVID was like normal life for me. So it was easy because that's the way I lived my life. So it didn't make any difference because you're stuck in hotels. If you went out, especially like Premier League time, there was thousands of people want autographs and photographs. So you can't go out.
Look, you've won everything multiple times. How did you keep the hunger to keep on winning?
I pay myself a wage. I still do. I pay myself £1,000 a week, which is good money for me. And I never knew what I was worth. I've got a lot of properties and things like that, but that goes in a bank account. I don't even look at it. And I pay myself a small wage in comparison to what I could pay myself. And so everything then is make sure you get up and practice. And I think it stems back from when you were young and when you first, your parents. My mum and dad never let me lie in bed. You had to get up and go to school and get up and go to work.
What about the pressure that comes with being the player to beat? How did you deal with that?
It just come natural, really. I was just used to it. It's strange in the beginning. It's like it's as if you're talking about somebody else. It's not you there, I'll give you an instance, especially the youngsters. When I was 16, I started work at 15 and a half. And then it got to about 16, I was working 7 days a week. And I decided I'm going to have a day off. Can you remember your mum shouting you up for work in the morning? Philip, get up! And I used to be I'm up, banging my foot on the ceiling as if I'm walking about. You're banging your foot again. She come through the door with a bucket of water, freezing cold water, and chucked it all over me. And I was never late for work ever again after that one. She did. I'm up, I'm coming up now. I could hear the tap running and thinking, I'm getting up. And that was...
How much did your upbringing and that working life that you had before becoming a professional dart player impact the success that you went on to have?
Both parents embedded into me that you've got to get up, you've got to pay your way, pay your bills, make sure you keep a roof over your head. That's the major thing. Pay your taxes, because you don't want them knocking on your door, because you don't want extra pressure. You see these players now, I'm drilled on about pay your tax and your VAT, and they're still doing it now. One of them's just been, obviously, he's £450,000 in debt. How would you wake up tomorrow and be £450,000 in debt? And then get on that stage and play darts. And he lost 6-0 last night to an American. Mental. Should never happen. Pay your bloody bills. Do you know what I mean?
Because
you don't
want
want
one thing to take away.
The dready knock on the door. Do you know what I mean? I've seen it too many times.
Look, certainly not. You've obviously won a lot of money over your career as well, had to manage your finances, but where the game's gone to now, you mentioned at the start £1 million.
Oh, mate. Now, if I was, I've got a lot of properties. I'll be investing in properties straight away, because they're not building any more land. So invest in your land, because it'll just go up and up and up. It always will. I used to buy a lot of gold and precious metals, and that day I made a lot of money out of that. So it's all about protecting, not wasting your money.
Did you ever think darts could get this big, and how proud are you of the part that you've played in that?
No, I thought when I was playing, I thought that would be the biggest darts I'll ever get. I did, honestly. I remember when we first broke away with the PDC, and the Sky was saying to me, do you know any venues where they have to have big ceilings, because them big cameras, remember, on a boom, stick up in the air, so the ceilings that be high. I said, I'll have a look for you. Well, there's a club called Middleport Club. If you ever watch a series on TV called The Pottery Throwdown, it's Middleport Pottery. The club was across the road from there. It's where all the people that worked on the factories went. The clubs, working men's clubs. So they asked me, they were struggling a little bit. is there anything you could do for us, Phil? I said, I can, I think. Sky are after venues and your ceilings are high. I said, I'll get somebody to come down and have a look and see if it's suitable. It holds about 2,000 people. It's quite big. Oh, brilliant. This is the steward. I'll have a word with the committee. Can I have a meeting with you next week? I said, yeah, of course you can. So before I made a phone call to Sky, I thought I'll wait first. I went in, they said, Phil, all the committee are there. Thank you for what you're going to do for us. It's fantastic. I said, I can't guarantee anything, but I will ask. He says, but we got one request. Can you play the darts in between the bingo? You knew what I was going to say, didn't you? Imagine Jockey Wilson on double 10 in a minute. We'll just do a quickie. I said, no. He said, we don't upset the regulars. I said, you haven't got any regulars. They were terrified of losing what they got, if you know what I mean. So it never happened.
It has come a long way. You bowed out in 2018. That final year, I just want to talk about, particularly getting to the World Championship final. What was that like, being on that stage in your last ever game?
I thought I was going to win it. I didn't really want to play in it. It was strange. We're going down the M6 onto the M1. I'm saying to Bob, I don't want to go. I don't want to play in it, to be honest with you. I'd had enough. And then you play the first round and you win it, and you think, oh, I played all right there. And then you play your second round and you win it. Then you want to win it then. So you just play each round as it come. And then got Rob Kloss in the final. And in my mind, I'm thinking, he's going to bottle this. Because I got that much attention on me. It was my last game. He's never been in a tournament in his life. And he threw absolutely brilliant. He finished fantastic.
You did go on to play in the World Seniors after that. That retirement, did you ever think about cancelling it, going back, playing again? Because if you can still win the match play and reach the World Final in your last year, you were still good enough.
I should have done, really. Barry, he got annoyed with me because I wouldn't do what he said. He said, why don't you just play your card out? Just enter the tournaments that you want to play in. If you win, you win. If you don't, you don't. But you still get your first round prize money, which would have been a lot of money. But I'd had enough. I finished January, played Rob in January, and I went straight to New Zealand, Australia, a little island called Vanuatu, Tasmania. So I did a tour of all around that area, and it was absolutely brilliant, it was.
Do you miss anything about playing professional darts?
No, not now. Not now. I'm quite happy, to be honest with you. I do my properties. I do painting and decorating. I do a lot of cycling. I still can't lose any bloody weight, though. Honestly, I watched that video and then I've just realised I've been on a diet for 30-odd years. So I keep trying all this different stuff. I kept doing it when I was playing darts. So I thought, right, 1 meal a day. That's the answer. So I had no breakfast, no dinner. I'm going to have something for my tea time. So then I go out on my bike, one of these electric bikes, you have to pedal. So I do about 25 miles on my bike, come in, can't take my shirt off, wringing in sweat, thinking, yes, I'll have my tea and I'll go to bed. Get up in the morning, get on the scales, I put a pound on. I'm thinking, I don't know what's going on here. I think it's your body changes as you get older.
I do want to ask you about the current crop of dart players as well. We've spoken a little bit, and I'm sure there'll be questions from every era from the audience, but what do you make of players like Luke Littler, Luke Humphries, Michael Van Gerwen?
Brilliant, absolutely brilliant. And I mean, you can't compare different sports from years ago. Would Georgie Best be the best player today? He'd have been there and thereabouts, because he'd changed with the times. And I'd love to see people like Eric and Jockey with these people. But again, it's all changed. You know, you go in the practice room now, nobody speaks. They've all got earphones in, or iPods or whatever you call them, in their ears, and nobody talks. Where when we were there, everybody's having a laugh and a joke and taking the mickey out of each other.
Is that a good evolution or a bad one?
That's good. I think it's good for them. I wouldn't like it, but obviously they've all got their own people with them who they ever talk to.
I mentioned before...
Very serious now.
Yeah,
and I don't blame him. For £1 million, I'd be serious as well.
And the seriousness is starting a lot younger, isn't it? There are lots of darts academies around and things like that. Do you think we're going to see the sport get even bigger and move to a more professional standard? I
think it's got to do. I think they've got to go more professional, like the tennis, where they don't bother with anybody. They have their own teams. I mean, if you ever talk to a tennis player, they have massagers with them, they have their own chefs, they have managers, they have agents, everybody travels with them. They have a strength coach, they have a fitness coach. I mean, it's a proper organisation, and that's whether you get a dart player, have a fitness coach and a strength coach and this, that and the other, I don't know. But if you want to be professional, then you should do it.
Have we got anyone in the audience who's got aspirations of being a professional darts player? A professional darts player. There we go. We've got a couple.
Too late.
You've given your advice to that gentleman.
About 10 years.
What would your advice be to this young man here starting out on the pursuit of professional
How old
career?
are you now? Perfect age, perfect age. Have you done all your, you're working out? That's the main thing, one of the main things. Make sure you got the right darts. But your body's going to change, so you're going to get taller. And then you're going to get better looking. Then you're going to discover girls. So you have to go through all that. But the main thing is just keep practicing. And make sure, look at some of the styles of different players. The best players will always have the best style. So you got John Lowe, he was one of the best styles. I hadn't got a bad style, but I wasn't as good as John's. Luke Littler's got a nice style. It's about keeping your body straight, keeping it still, so you're not jerking, and then just follow right through. But don't overexert. Just do it like as if you're cutting a knife through butter. Dead easy, simple. Make it as easy as you can. That's what you've got to do. And then bank the money and pay your taxes.
Yeah, and if his parent could come and see us at
and
the end,
don't rent any houses.
Please.
Pay cash, all cash. If you can't afford it, don't buy it.
Back to yourself. We mentioned the World Seniors. You did play on that for a few years. Just talk us through that experience and why you decided to call it
For
quits.
me, it was heartbreaking because I couldn't do what I used to do. You know what I mean? I couldn't be dedicated like I used to do. My body, it just couldn't do what I used to do. So it wasn't for me. I enjoyed it. I loved being in it. But I didn't like the people that were paying good money to come and see me, and I'm not performing. So it was time to walk away.
And you're now a pundit and an ambassador, work with us here on Pluto TV as well. How much are you enjoying sort of sitting back? I mean, you're still on the exhibition circuit as well.
It's good because it's not too bad. Like I'll work on the show tomorrow, and then I'm off them for nearly 3 months. So I can do whatever I want to do. So I'll be going on holiday. I'm going to go Tenerife, Spain. I might go Greece. I've never been Greece, Italy. But just do a little bit of whatever you want, really. Spend a bit more time with the grandkids. Because I see a lot of the grandkids now, what I didn't before. So it's nice.
Sounds good, doesn't it? Look.
It's bloody great. Oh, good.
I'll ask you to reflect on a few moments. You've got so many, we're not going to have time to go into them. So I'll ask you some sort of more direct questions. Toughest opponent that you ever faced?
There's been a few tough ones. But Dennis Priestley was probably one of the toughest people he'll ever play because he was good, very good. I'd love to see Dennis Priestley play him now at his best. And he was slow. So you had to work out Dennis because when you were playing Dennis and he's got his first dart and he's like this, you're behind him thinking, freaking hell. And then you think, what shall I have for my tea after this? Or shall I go on holiday? You know what I mean? I haven't had a holiday for ages, but you'd be thinking different things in your mind. So you had to, and it was Lowy. John Lowe said, you know the drinks table over there? Walk round it. Then by the time you come back, he's finished. So you're not thinking about that. You're thinking more and not falling off the stage. So, yeah, just something simple. You have to work out how to beat these players. And once you get them, you get in their head then, see.
Is there one moment when you think about your career that always comes to the front of your mind, whether that be winning a tournament, a walk-on?
Missing the third 9-darter. That's the one I'm gutted
in
about.
the Premier League final?
Yeah. Or should have got that third one. Because I know young Luke will do 2, and I think Luke Humphreys maybe will do 2. But 3 is going to be a bit more difficult. Yeah. So I'm gutted about that one.
2 9-darters in one match, a Premier League final, nearly hit the third as well. Talk about the Premier League as well, because where darts crowds have gone since you started, filling up arenas, fancy dress, having a great time.
I know.
What's it like to be playing on stage when you've got all that going on behind you?
It's easier, actually, than a small crowd. You know what I mean? You've not got a big crowd in tonight, maybe 90 people, and it's harder to play in front of them than it is to play in front of 15,000, 16,000, because it becomes a buzz. It's just a buzz, where when you're here, you can hear every word everybody says. And that's more off-putting it is being in an arena.
Do you enjoy watching darts now?
I do. I'm a bit of a early riser now. I'm up at about 5, half 5, and I'm in bed by about half 7. So what I do, I wake up about maybe half 4, 5 o'clock, and I put YouTube on. So I watch all the highlights. I'm bored with TV, if that makes sense. I bet ladies are. My missus doesn't even put TV on. It's all music. And she's a clean freak. Honestly, every time I bloody look at her, she's got a mop or something in her hand. So she just likes music, so she doesn't put television on. I put TV on sometimes if I'm not working. I'm watching Bargain Hunt. I've seen it 25,000 times. I even bought the things they're buying on Bargain Hunt. And then I'm watching Four in a Bed, which I've seen about 50 times. So I put YouTube on. And I catch up on everything then, see.
Do you have one night in your career that you wish you could relive, do it again?
Oh, I could relive a few nights. One when I slapped Peter Manley and I didn't punch him. I'm only kidding. The Barney final, I wish I'd have played that one again. The John Park final, even though that was like a relief for me, because I'd won it 8 years on the trot and people were getting bored with it, so it gave me a break from it. And then people were on my side again then.
It's interesting, though, that the ones you remember are the ones that you lost.
Yeah, you don't remember the ones you win, then that's gone. Because you have to do what you have to do, and then, you know, as soon as you come home, you have about a week of press and whatever else. It's probably worse now. And then it's get ready for your next one.
How would you sum up your career?
Brilliant. But could have done better.
I knew that was coming.
Can you remember when we at school and you used to get them little shields at the end of the week? Can you remember? Here's a little card from your teacher. And each class had remember them? I've got some, honestly, I could show you. I'll have to get them out. And it says, Phil did really well this week with his English. He's well behaved for a change. Could have done better. And that's the thing. I just come home with this little shield. I was dead proud. Mother should give it over there tonight. Turn it back.
I think you did pretty well, don't you, ladies and gentlemen?
I did all right.
16 world titles, hundreds of tournament wins. And look, it's pretty much all I've got, so it's going to be over to you now. Robbie is going to be in the arena any second with a microphone. There he is. And if anyone's got any questions, just alert Robbie.
I thought Robbie Williams would turn up there.
For the next half an hour or so, Phil's going to answer your questions best he can.
My name's Dexter. Where did you get your nickname from, like the power?
It was given to me by a fella what worked for Sky named Peter Judge. And they have what you call a walk-on manager. And he did all the walk-ons. He used to do the walk-ons. I don't know if you remember Nigel Benn and Chris Eubanks. You've heard of Chris Eubanks Jr., the boxer? Prince Nassim? No? God, I feel old now. So he was the one. Sky were just evolving then, and he wanted to make the darts a little bit like, you know, the WWF wrestling? With all the flashy lights and everything. He says, darts is an old person sport, so we need to revamp it and make it more exciting. Get the kids involved, get the audience younger. Because the average age was like 45 to 85, where now it's like 6 years old to 25 years old. It's the ideal age groups for the sponsors, because that's the target audience that they want. Because obviously the teenagers have got a bit more money in their pocket, so they've got more money to spend. So that was the thing. So it was a fella, and he trod on a CD, because Sky then, it was CDs. It's all digital now. And it was a CD called Snap the Power, and that was how I got it. Fluke.
Anyone else? It's a unique opportunity to ask a question to the greatest darts player of all time. Let us know your name and your question.
You'll have my head as big as my belly, you. We'll keep saying that.
Hello, I'm James, and if you went back in time and knowing what you know now, would you all do it over again?
Yes, but I'd done it better. And I wouldn't earn 10 million, I'd earn 100 million. Because I'd had a proper team around me. You know what I mean? There's more ways of making money now. It's not all about money, don't get me wrong, but you've got to set yourself up so you don't have to worry for the rest of your life. And look after your parents. You know what I mean? I've got kids, they've got houses and cars and things like that, so give them a nudge, Dad. Don't forget, look after your dad. So that's what you got to do. But again, more dedication. I could have been better. Yes, Doug?
Yeah, I think we've got another one at the front.
Hi, my name's Danielle.
Ooh.
Are there any plans or talks of you making a little comeback to have a little game with Luke Littler?
No. No, that we played Jenga. That's what it was. It was April the 1st. It was a joke. So they built it up. Didn't you not get the joke?
Who
we
won?
played Jenga. He plays Jenga. I didn't even know what Jenga was. So he beat me. But I'm going to practice now and get him back. But he's a lovely lad, you know. I know people say he's coming over cocky. Trust me, don't change. If they don't like it, that means you're doing something right. Eric Bristow once, years ago, when I first started, and he shouted me across, he says, Phil, come here. See all these lot talking to me, Big Cliff, Eric, and John Lowe and all them lot. I said, yeah. He says, they wouldn't talk to me 10 years ago. Ignored me. He says, you know what that means, don't you? I went, what? He says, I'm no good anymore. My form's dropped. And that happened to me, because all the players hated my guts. As soon as I walked through the room, they were complaining. Like the pro tours. I used to enter one pro tour, or two, Saturday and Sunday, win them, and that qualified me then for, say, Bolton, then it moved down to Minehead. So I only played in one weekend, and I could miss the next of them. There was 14. So the players complained. It's not fair. Phil Taylor only turns up for one, and he's qualified. So Barry felt, for Phil, you've got to play into 3 now. You've got to play 3 tournaments. I said, all right. Then I said, put me in every one. I said, I'll play every one now, and I'm going to piss them off. And I won the first 13 out of 14. They complained about that then. So you can't win. And it was exactly the same. And all the players then started talking to me. I thought, Peter Manley, Kevin Peters talking to me. I thought, I can't have this. You better get on that practice board. So you have to watch the size a little bit. Do you know what I mean?
Keep sticking your hands up and Robbie will come and find you. We've got one at the front here, a couple more there. Let us know your name and your question.
Hi, my name's Lyle. Do you think
Kyle?
Lyle.
Oh, Lyle.
Lyle. Do you think anybody is ever going to beat your 16 world title record?
They could do. I think they can. If I can do it, then they can. But staying dedicated, isn't it, really? Do you know what I mean? I was in the final 20-odd times. So young Luke's got to stay dedicated. I mean, he's got a relationship now. He's going to want to spend time. He doesn't practice a great deal, which will catch up on him. Trust me, you can't keep doing it. So, tiredness, whether he gets fed up with it. It's like having steak for your tea every night. You're going to get fed up with it. And that's the one thing that keeps him motivated. That's the hardest part. That's one thing Ronnie O'Sullivan always asks me. How do you keep motivated all the time? Because I like my money. I mean, if a pound rolled down the street, I'd run after it. And that's what Barry Hearn used to say. He used to call me, he said, you've got a council house mentality, which is great. Do you know what I mean? Stay motivated. Then forget about how much money you've got. Keep going. Because you're only as good as your next game.
What do you guys think? Will anybody else ever get near winning 16 world titles?
You never know. It's standards too high now, though. But the dartboards are a lot better. When we first started, if you have a look, you've got these big round wires. And they used to have bounce outs nearly every 3 darts. Where now, the bigger trebles, because the wires are very small. I'd have loved playing on them now, trust me. Look at that. Beautiful.
Hi, Phil. My name's Bill.
Is it? Good
Yeah.
lad.
I was just wondering whether you've been backstage and it's kicked off or...
Once, I think. Twice. The first week. I was always having fun with them. Yeah, it's good. It's good fun. I'd tell them, I was very straight with them, and I'd tell them if they were, you know what I mean, if they were taking the mickey kind of thing. I get Peter Wright to tell him off once, which I regret in a way, because it upset him. Peter Manley I've had a go at, Mervyn King I've had a go at.
You do often mention the time when Peter Manley took the dartboard off. That upset you, didn't it?
It didn't upset me. What it did is, I was in Blackpool, and I used to take the dartboard off the wall and sign it, and get the player to sign it, and give it to one of the youngsters. In fact, over the years, I've had somebody tap me on the shoulder, turn round, there's a lad standing there about 6'5". Remember me? I was that little lad you gave that dartboard to. I was only 7 then. Says I've never forgot it. And now he's a big man, if you know what I mean. But yeah, we've had a few dust up, but it soon gets blown out the water. You can't stay like that for too long, because you're with each other next week, and the week after, and the week after.
Hello, I'm Sonny.
Sonny?
Yeah.
Bloody sunny there. Bloody hell.
Yeah, it is, yeah. What happened with the Daryl Gurney incident? What was that about? With the water or something?
Oh, yeah. That was just a wind-up, that was. When I went on stage, because normally you go on stage, if you go on first, there's 2 glasses, you pour some in that one and pour some in that one. So I just thought, I'll mark your card. That was it. He didn't speak to me, for about 4 months. It was lovely. It's about respect. Respect goes a long way. Doesn't cost nothing as well. Please and thank you as well is another one, which a lot of youngsters don't do anymore. But do it, because it don't cost you now.
We've got one there.
I feel I'm James.
I know you are.
A couple of weeks ago, of course, we had the World Cup of Darts, and the media liked to vilify the Lukes after they lost to Germany. Do you have any similarities when you and James Wade lost to Spain in the first World Cup?
I can't bloody remember, to be honest with you. I don't know. We played well. The Spanish beat us, didn't they? They played really well, the lads did. But it was the first one, so I think the pressure was off a little bit. But I think the 2 Lukes were really, really up against it. They were a little bit like a rabbit in a headlight, weren't they, when they first walked on? But I did think they'd win it. I thought they'd walk it. But just didn't... I thought the Germans played well. I watched that game. And they finished well, didn't they?
I will follow up on that, Phil, because you had a lot of success in that tournament with Adrian Lewis, who obviously you knew very well. How important is it to click as a team when you're playing pairs?
Well, pairs is a game you don't play much of now, where we used to play pairs tournaments and mixed doubles and mixed trebles all the time when I was in the BDO. It's so changed. I mean, we'd go Canada or America, and you'd have a tournament start at 8 in the morning, and be the mixed pairs. That'd be played, which was about 250 people in it, and then about 2 o'clock there'd be the men's pairs, and then during the men's pairs they'd start the men's singles, the ladies singles. There was tournaments going on, and sometimes I won every one, and it was 2 o'clock in the morning when you finished, and then you got to get up again the next morning, start all over again. That's how it was. But you had to do it to earn a living. It was hard work, and the American one was best of 3, 301. And bull up every leg. Because the Americans were good at bulling up. They were used to it. So you bull for the first leg, so best of 3, and it was double in, double out, 301, and then you bull up again, and then you bull up again if it was 1 each. Hard work that one was. And that was all the way through to the final.
I believe that young man's got another question.
What title meant the most to you and why?
The World Championship.
Which one?
First one.
The first one. Why?
Because you've done it. That's your dream. What's your dream now? Be world champion? So when you win your first one, you've done it. And then you can work on it then. Get your £1,000,000, pal. And then you get invited to different places then, and you'll get into more tournaments. So that sets your career up then. And it secures you a little bit as well. So pay your mortgage off. I mean, it's all about, to me, it's making your life simple. So young Luke now is renting somewhere, buy one. Don't be giving your money away. So, and you'll gain money on it then as well, because it'll go up in value.
Can you still remember that feeling of winning that first world title?
I do, yeah, 24,000. I got my dad a little car, we put ribbons on it, little Austin Maestro it was lovely. And then I bought him a Merc after that. I got him a new Merc. Well, second hand, it was only a few months old. And he used to work on a tile factory on Johnson's, putting the patterns on the tiles, called Mottling. And he used to go work half an hour earlier, shining the badge up on the Merc. He had the one with the badge on. Remember the old Mercs? He had one of them. So he was a bit of a snob. Morning, Mr. Johnson. He'd come in an escort. My dad's got a Merc.
Have we got any more questions? A couple at the front, 3 at the front.
Right. If you were back in your prime right now, how well do you think you'd do against the current players?
Brilliant.
And one other question. If you could change one rule in darts, what would it be? And
one rule in darts?
Yeah.
I don't know. I'll think about that one. The one thing I would stop, when we used to play on stage, even if it was winter, the people that smoke used to be outside by the back door here with the back doors wide open. So when you were on stage, there was a breeze, wasn't there? And it made it cold, all the cold air's coming in. So that's one thing I would have stopped straight away. And I used to say to him, and another one is, it's not a rule, but the stage, this one's solid, but a lot of the stages used to be bouncy. So if you're playing somebody who's a little bit heavier, like Aidan was a big lad, about 20 stone, when they walk back, when you're aiming, you're like this. Because the stage were bouncing. I used to say to the people putting the stage up, get a couple of acros and a couple of scaffolding planks and just boost it up there. That's all you got to do. But they wouldn't do it.
Yeah,
They used to set the stage up and just go down the town and enjoy themselves.
There was an incident when James Wade complained about Adrian.
There were,
Lewis,
yeah,
wasn't
there's
there?
loads of it. That happened all the time.
How many hours a week do you think for like youngsters around sort of 12, 13 they should be doing?
Now, I would say when I was practicing properly, I practiced very, very serious though. I only used to do about an hour, but it was serious practice. So when I finished, my eyes were tired, and I knew then I'd had a good session. So I never practiced just playing at the board. It was always as if I was in the final of the World Championship. So what I did on the practice board, it was easier up here than when I was practicing. So I made it hard work for myself, and that's all you need. And that used to follow other sports. My mate was a bodybuilder, Kerry Kays, used to look after Ricky. And he had a picture, he was like Mr. Britain. Fantastic body. I said, how long did you train, Kerry? You know, per day? He said, 40 minutes. He said, it's not the amount of time you practice, it's what you do in that practice. And I thought, that's clever, I like that. And it's about recuperation as well. So, and darts is like any sport where, you know, snooker, your mind's got to be fit and healthy and wide awake, so you need your rest. And that's, again, as you say to Aidan, make sure you get your rest in. Because if you're tired, you can't perform. Because Aidan said, Phil never told me anything, only go bed early, which I did.
We've got about 10 more minutes, so don't be that person who thought I'm going to ask Phil Taylor a question and then didn't do it. You've still got a chance to do so.
Do it.
Hands in the air.
We're obviously here because there's the Women's Week finishing off later tonight in the MODUS. And hopefully that Bo Greaves will hopefully get a tour card next year. Do you think she could ever get anywhere close to the final stage of the main PDC
Bo
World
Greaves?
Championship? Yep.
Without a shadow of a doubt she can. She's a hell of a player, that lady is. She's really, really good. Nice person as well. So and she's one I'd like to do well for her, you know what I mean? She deserves to do well. She's a good girl. And it would be great for TV. Honestly, they'd go mad. If she ever does it, she'll make some money, I tell you that now. And she'll be dead famous. She'd probably be knighted. If Fallon Sherritt could get her MBE, you know what I mean, for her career, then I think she could get even better. So it's brilliant. I'm dead proud of the ladies. I think they've come on fantastic. It's good for the sport as well.
And of course we have got, as you mentioned, that Women's Week finals coming up this evening. Hope you're all staying behind for that. We might have a couple of the players in the audience. Robin Byrne and Sophie McKinley.
Well,
down
about
there.
you, look, I'm absolutely sweltering.
Any more for any more?
Oh no, I've just get up then.
There's always one, Phil. There's always one.
Not darts related. Since your mate Robbie's been over doing his tours, have you met up with Robbie and his dad, or?
Pete, see Pete all the time. He lives in one of my bungalows, yeah. He's all right, Pete is. He's a lot better. He's having a bit more care now, yeah, so he's seemed to spruce him up a little bit. I shall see him on Tuesday now. He's all right, yeah.
Robbie Williams is talking about, not this Robbie here with the microphone.
I thought you were about him.
Yeah. How well do you know the Williams family? Because you mentioned
Very, very well, yeah. His mum's in a care home now, so I don't see Jan. I used to see Jan quite regularly. I don't see her now at all. Peter see her all the time. I'll speak to him most days.
And I heard a little rumour that you're the inspiration for one of Robbie Williams' songs. Is that right?
Me and him together, called Better Man. It's called Better Man, and the lyrics about 30 odd seconds, and he says they said it was leaving me, the magic was leaving. I don't think so. And that was about me and him, because everybody said his career was finishing and mine was finishing. So he got a lyric out of a song.
I believe our
They
Robbie
said it was leaving.
I believe our Robbie's got a question for you as well.
Someone asked you a really good question about, do you think your 16 world title will ever be beaten? And most people shook their head, that's not going to happen. But you said you actually think it's really possible.
It is possible.
Do you, silly question maybe, do you hope that happens, knowing that you've laid that foundation and that probably wouldn't have been possible but for your input in the sport?
I don't know. I'm 50-50. If it does, see, every time Luke Littler does well or Luke Humphries does well, it gives me more publicity. It's ever so strange. It keeps you in the limelight. It's because everybody starts forgetting about you, and all of a sudden, Phil Taylor's record. That's all you ever hear. It's strange because you're sitting at home watching YouTube, and then you'll be getting mentioned all the time. It's ever so weird. No, but I think I think Luke Humphries or Luke Littler are young enough and dedicated enough to break records. I think that's what they'd be after anyway. If I was them, I would be. But it would be difficult because, you know, Luke Humphries didn't win it this year. Luke Littler won it. Then you've got next year, so that's 2 years you've lost. So it's going to be difficult to make at least 20, maybe 22, 23 finals and win 16 of them. So it's hard. Especially the way, and Barry's improving the field, isn't he? He's making it more harder for people. So you're going to have to be down there for longer. Plus the World Series and the world, everything else, that many world titles now, it's going to be difficult to keep your stamina up and to keep your form up for so many months. You've got to be 12 months on the, good now. If you notice the world pairs, which is nothing really, but they get slated because they lost. And if they lose the world match play, they'll get slated about that. So the pressure's on all the time, which I know how it feels, but they aren't used to it yet. So it's even worse now. I mean, it's in the. I read the news every day, Google News, and Luke Littler's in there every day. Not much about Luke Humphries, but Luke Littler every day. Luke Littler only gave his missus a cuddlies in the papers.
Hello, I'm Mandy. What made
Mandy,
you
I'm
get
Phil.
into darts?
Sorry?
What made you actually get into darts?
Money.
And that was it? No other sport?
No, I enjoyed it. No, I did enjoy darts.
Did you do any other sport?
I tried other sports.
You did.
The only sport I was ever decent at was cricket. I played county cricket when I was a kid. I was a good bowler. I was rubbish at batting, but I was a good bowler. I used to practice bowling all the time. And that, I think, gave me the skill for the darts. Seriously, I love cricket. I wasn't in love with cricket, though. Found it a bit boring. Do you know what I mean? I didn't like fielding. I didn't want to be on the head with the ball, even though I think you think I have. But football, I was just normal kid. But, I love badminton. I used to love badminton. Squash, believe it or not. But I wasn't quick enough. Even when I was fit, I wasn't quick enough.
If you could change your walk-on song, what would it be?
I'm too sexy for my shirt.
If you could just pass the mic straight to
It's a
the
song
guy
by
in front of
Chubby
you,
Brown I'd have changed it to, but I'm not telling you what it is.
Yeah, we all know you're a big Port Vale fan, Phil. Ish, yes.
I like football, Bill.
Yes, true, yes. Well, I'm a Huddersfield fan, so we'll be playing each other next season. But what do you think Port Vale might do next season?
Hopefully we'll be mid-table, stay up there. That's the main thing, I think. They have spent a bit of money, I think, so we'll have to see what happens. I only went one game last year, and we won 5-0. It was the best game I've been. It was, as soon as I sat down, I was back up again. They were all singing and dancing.
Well, let's hear it one more time for Phil the Power Taylor.